I don't appreciate that. Okay, good first day of practice with pads on or shoulder pads on. Guys got after it. We've been out on the field a couple times now. Have had walkthroughs, so 5th time on the field, first time out in pads, and first time we've competed against one another. So the first few days, as our usual routine, is where we just work on fundamentals and technique. And then we had good competition today. We have good competition still going. We've got our some guys that are just got here, some of our 3s, 4s guys competing right now, and the older guys are in there cooling down. So good work, and there's really nothing else going on outside of football, so that's where our focus is, and we'll see how good we can get. Okay.
Well, are you concerned that players are looking at social media and seeing all these rumors and everything?
Not really. I think that I try to tell the players what I know, and so they're aware of what I'm aware of, which isn't much, and they're aware that our president is, sitting in the catbird seat and gets to make some great decisions for our program and for the university. What I love is that all eyes are on Arizona football. And you can't open up an article, you can't read anything on social media, you can't see anything on ESPN without an Arizona helmet. And that tells me that our brand is growing. It's getting better. More people are talking about us. More people want to know what's happening with Arizona, and you can't beat that in our situation right now.
You have stated that Arizona would land in a good place regardless, and I think you're going to be right about that. But how do you feel about, big picture-wise, as someone who grew up as a big college football fan, just the way that this whole thing is going with the consolidation, all of the realignment, maybe the death of the Pac-12, et cetera?
Yeah, I think it's certainly, I did tell our team this. I said, you guys are literally living through history. If you think about the guys that played college football from, let's call it 2020 to 2025, you lived through a pandemic and how that worked in college football, the uniqueness of playing in front of no one. You went through a transfer portal rules that no one really ever thought would ever happen, the amount of exchange of players. Then NIL, you started getting paid, and now you're sitting there looking at conferences that were historically a group of 12, 10, 12, whatever they were, turning into 16 mega conferences, 16-team mega conference. The Big Ten's getting bigger and bigger from what I understand. The SEC is doing their deal, bringing in Texas, Oklahoma. Whatever happens with us will happen with us. But it's a change. Everything is just new. It is truly a new frontier of college football. I love it. I love the fact that we are just sitting there in a position where everything right now is going to be better for the athletes. The athletes, especially in football, are going to be seeing significant change in regards to the financial impact of college football. The CFP is going to bring probably another $1 billion into athletics. And we're going to sit there, and these kids are going to play some teams maybe they haven't played before. They're going to see some things they maybe haven't seen before. And all of college football has changed, and I think it'll probably change again in the next 3 to 5 years.
So then have you been told by your bosses that Arizona's going?
No, I don't know where we're headed or what we're doing. I would just say that as you look around the landscape of college football, you see Texas playing Alabama every year, Oklahoma back. You see Nebraska, in the Big Ten. You see UCLA. I know Nebraska's been there a few years now. You see UCLA flying across the country to go play Ohio State. Things that these kids have never thought they could ever experience. And we all know there'll be more changes that go on, whether it be new teams coming in or us going out. But there's going to be just something new that our kids have never thought of experiencing.
Can you address the evolution of the defensive line over the last couple of years?
Yeah, well, it's been completely transformed in terms of the size of the player, in terms of what we're looking for in the type of the player. We've been very determined to get a certain player to play nose, a certain player to play 3, a certain pass rushing mentality and skill sets, and not just take guys. And we've tried to, if you were to look at our team, our goal, I think I heard Bill Parcells say at one time, that if you have a lot of different body types playing the same position, you have a dog pound. Okay, that's not the idea. The idea is not to have all sorts of different looking players. The idea is we want to have the 6'3", 330-pound nose. We want to have the 6'3", 6'4", 310-pound three technique. That's a good athlete. We want to have the 280-pound, 275-pound defensive end. We want to be able to have guys that can line up on the tight end. So the defensive line has completely changed. The other thing that's changed is the age of our defensive line. Our defensive line was super young last year when you talk about who was playing that second half of the year. Now we're playing with 4, 5, 6, 22-year-olds or older, 22 and 23-year-olds, and then the guys that were freshmen are now sitting there making them better. So it's pretty cool.
And then what have you seen out of a guy like Isaiah Ward?
Isaiah Ward is a special pass rusher. He's got an elite skill set. What Isaiah Ward needs to do is understand that your job isn't only to be a great pass rusher. Your job is to be able to stop the run. Your job is to be a big enough player to line up and be able to, make a tackle miss with a bull rush, not just a speed rush. And he's got a lot of skill, but he also has a lot of things that he can prove upon.
We're going to talk to Montana here in a little bit. What made you want to add him to the team? And then when it comes to the younger guys that maybe were thinking they had a really good shot at that third spot, what does it mean for them?
Well, first of all, they do still. We didn't bring anyone in with any promises of starting. We said and we believe that competition is the central theme of our program. That's not changing. What Montana is able to bring to us, though, is somebody that has learned 3 different systems in 3 years. So he has experience to be able to quickly pick up offense. So we didn't feel like we were worried about whether or not this guy's going to take 6 games to figure out what we're doing. Second thing is he's tough. He was a guy that we saw could make plays on the one-on-one go ball, which was a spot that the Z receiver made for us. He was a guy that could break tackles when he caught quick screens and slants. He was physical. And then everyone I spoke to about him is they gave an A+ character recommendation. And they said that every player on your team was going to look up to him at some point in the season. So he kind of fit everything we wanted to bring in a guy that A, could potentially be a starter on day one, and B, be an unbelievable teammate.
How does he end up in the portal then? He also had a great spring game.
Yeah, and I think he made that decision that he wanted to. Sometimes what happens is you're at a team and you've had a ton of coaching changes and position coach changes. We had some guys that went in the portal that really went in the portal because they felt like they didn't want to go through a 4th change at position coach or a 4th change with somebody. And they've continued to, feel as if, hey, I know I'm going to a new change, but I want to go somewhere else for the change this time around. I think Montana might have chosen that. I think Montana felt there was a great opportunity with the way we throw the ball. You're walking into a spot where if you are the starter, you're taking over for a guy that had 67 catches and 1,142 yards. And, traditionally guys that play that position in this offense, whether this offense is being run in LA or whether this offense is being run at UCLA or whether this offense is being run elsewhere throughout the years, the Z receiver has traditionally had about 70 catches, has about 1,100 yards. So I think what he felt like, hey, if I get there, there's great production opportunity.
What is it?
From the reaction from the other young receivers to Montana?
He's been fantastic. When I tell you he's a great teammate, I mean, he did not walk in here and say, wide receiver 1. He came in here and he sat behind. AJ took reps and Kevin Green was taking reps at the slot and Jacob was taking reps outside, and that's not going to change for us. And then Montana's going to get some reps at Z, and we've got a lot of other good receivers that have found ways to help us. And with AJ and with KG and with Malachi Riley walking in here, there's a lot of great skill out there that looking forward to watching them all compete. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you coming out here.